You ever get that amazing idea for a movie or maybe a TV show, but then you just stop because you have no idea where to even begin? Yeah, we've all been there. Well, you're in exactly the right place. Today, we're going to break down how to take that little spark of an idea and turn it into a solid blueprint, something you can actually use to start writing. All right, let's get into it. So where do they even come from? You know, all those incredible stories we love, the ones that just stick with you forever? Well, the answer is actually a lot simpler than you might think.
It really all boils down to just a few key ingredients, and it all starts with a simple question.
That little moment of curiosity, right? That single what if. That's the thing that can spark an entire story.
Then you've got to have the engine of the story, a character, someone who wants something, and I mean desperately wants it.
And of course, the fuel for that fire, a whole world of trouble standing right in their way. So you've got your question, your character, and your conflict. That's it. That is the core of pretty much every great story you've ever loved.
Okay, so let's start right where every script begins, with that core concept. Think of this as the foundation of your house. If it's not solid, the whole thing is going to fall apart. Getting this right is absolutely everything.
Now, inspiration, it isn't some magic lightning bolt, right? It's a process. Pros like Lucy Hay and Melissa Sargent will tell you, you gotta immerse yourself in stories. That means reading great scripts, rewatching your favorite films, and really thinking about the movies you wish you could see. What themes just grab you? And here's the crucial part. Always have a place to jot this stuff down. A notebook, your phone, whatever. You just never know when that million-dollar idea is gonna hit.
So let's put that whole what if thing into practice. Here's a great example. What if a monster rescued a princess instead of some handsome prince? Just that one simple question completely flips a classic fairy tale on its head, right? It's interesting, it's provocative, and you immediately want to know, okay, what happens next?
And boom, just like that, you've got the entire premise for Shrek. It's a perfect example of how one single powerful what if can hold the tiny seed for your whole story. All right, so you've got your idea. The next thing you need to figure out is its genre. And look, genre isn't some rigid box you have to cram your story into. It's more like a toolbox, you know? It's a set of expectations your audience has. It's like a big signpost that says, hey, get ready to laugh or get ready to be scared. And you can either give them what they expect or you can totally flip those expectations for a really powerful effect. See, every genre has its own set of ingredients or tropes. Think about a classic Western. You've got your cowboys, dusty frontier towns, six-shooters. And then you've got sci-fi. You're talking spaceships, alien planets, laser blasters. I mean, they seem like totally different universes, don't they? But what happens when you smash them together? You get something completely new and exciting, a space western, like the legendary Cowboy Bebop. Mixing genres like this is just a fantastic way to create a story that feels fresh, unique, and really stands out from the crowd.
Okay, so a great concept is obviously crucial, but let's be real, it's nothing without the characters to bring it all to life. Your characters, they are the heart and soul of your story.
And this is where things get really interesting. So, every story needs a protagonist. That's your hero. And they usually need an antagonist. But listen, this isn't just about good guy versus bad guy. The best ones are like two sides of the same coin. Your hero has a goal, right? And the antagonist is what's standing in their way. Super important. They both need flaws. Flaws make them relatable, and they make the villain a worthy opponent. And here's the cool part. While your hero goes on a journey and changes, that's their arc. The antagonist often just digs in their heels, more convinced than ever that they were right all along.
You know, the best antagonists never think of themselves as the villain. No way. In their own mind, they're the hero. They might even want the same thing as your protagonist, like peace or order, but their way of getting there is totally twisted. Think about it. An antagonist who genuinely believes the only way to save the world is to destroy it, that is infinitely more compelling than some dude who's just evil for the sake of being evil.
All right, so you've got your concept, you've picked your genre, you've got your characters. Now it's time to actually build the blueprint. This is the outlining phase. This is where you put on your architect hat and design the whole structure before you even think about laying a single brick of dialogue. And there are tons of ways to do this, really. You can go old school with index cards and just shuffle scenes around on your floor. You can use a simple Word doc or get fancy with software like Scrivener. But honestly, the tool doesn't matter. What matters is this one question you have to ask for every single scene.
How does this move the story forward? If a scene doesn't develop your character or push the plot along, then you got to be ruthless. It probably has to go.
Now, the bedrock for most screen stories is what's called the 3-act structure. So Act 1 is your setup. You're introducing your characters, their world, and it all ends with a choice that just changes everything for them. Act 2 is the confrontation. This is where your hero is trying to get what they want, but they keep hitting bigger and bigger obstacles. And finally, Act 3 is the resolution. This happens after the big climax, and it's where you tie up all the loose ends. It's really that simple. Think of it like the skeleton that holds your whole story together.
Okay, we are almost there. This is the final step before you actually start writing pages. You've built this entire blueprint, and now you have to do something that sounds impossible. You need to distill all of it down into one single, powerful sentence. It's time to write your logline.
Let's take a look at an example. Imagine the logline for the movie A Quiet Place was just, "A family is attacked by monsters." I mean, it's okay, I guess. It tells you the basics, but it's so vague. It doesn't really grab you or spark any curiosity. We can do so much better than that.
Because a good logline, a strong logline, is basically a work of art. It has to do 4 things, and do them fast. Tell us who the protagonist is. What's the main conflict? What are the stakes? What happens if they fail? And what's the genre? It's your entire movie packed into a nutshell.
Okay, now let's try that again. How about this? A family must live in silence to avoid being captured by monsters with ultra-sensitive hearing. Wow. See the difference? Suddenly we have our protagonist, the family. We have the unique conflict. They have to be silent. The stakes are huge, getting captured. And you can feel the genre. It's clearly horror. It's specific, it's unique, and it hooks you immediately. That is a powerful logline.
And just like that, your blueprint is done. You've got a core concept, you've got compelling characters, a solid outline, and a killer logline to tie it all together. You've done all the heavy lifting, all the hard architectural work. Now, and really only now, are you truly ready to open up that blank page and type "fade in."
So there you have it. You've got the tools, you've got the map. The only thing left to do is to start. So, I have to ask, what's your story?